Hello! Good morning, everyone. We are live and alive on today, Thursday, the 27th of February? Yeah, it's February, isn't it? Oh, one more day of the month. Nice short one. Looking forward to that payday. What are we doing today? We're getting woken up by the cat. Hello. Good to see you, little one. Right, today we have a bit of a cool one. We're doing a commander deck, but we're doing something a little bit different. In terms of brackets, this is kind of like the ideal bracket one, I guess. Because today we're trying to do a thing. A little bit goofy, but hopefully you're all here for it. Today we're going to be building Caradora, Heart of Valacria. That's going to be in the command zone, but it's not going to be the real commander. This is going to be a secret commander deck. I'll read what Caradora does, because it has an important line of text, which lets us do the thing that we want to do. So Caradora, Heart of Valacria is 2 green and a white for a 4/2 legendary creature human knight. It has, when Caradora enters, you may search your library for a mount or vehicle card, reveal it, put it into your hand, then shuffle. If one or more +1 counters will be put onto a creature or vehicle you control, that many +1/+1 counters +1 are put on it instead. So, why is this cool and interesting? So, this is a tutor in the command zone for a mount or a vehicle. And there is a very cool vehicle I've wanted to build around for a while. There's a vehicle I wish was legendary, but it's not. And that's the Mechtitan Core. This card is rad, and I have tried a couple of times to build a deck around it. I've tried Brewing, the Is It one. Basically, that one, there's a way of making multiple of them. But this gets around the whole thing that secret commanders kind of struggle with a lot of the time, is that you have to actually go and find your secret commander. So you either can end up packing your deck with tutors, or in this case, the commander itself is a tutor. The commander itself goes and gets the Mechtitan Core straight for us. As soon as Caradora comes down on turn 4, we can then cast it on turn 5, and then at some point we can ramp and hopefully activate it as soon as possible. But I'll read the Mechtitan Core if you haven't seen this card, because it is awesome. Mechtitan Core is 2 generic mana for a 2/4 vehicle with crew 2. It has the ability of pay 5 generic mana to exile Mechtitan Core and 4 other artifact creatures and or vehicles you control. You create Mechtitan, a legendary 10/10 construct artifact creature token with flying, vigilance, trample, lifelink, and haste that's all colours. When that token leaves the battlefield, return all cards exiled with Mechtitan Core, except Mechtitan Core, to the battlefield tapped under their owner's control. So, this is pretty cool. With this, you make Mechtitan a 10/10 flying, vigilance, trample, lifelink, haste. This is cool. This is what Commander is about for me, doing dumb broken things, and I want to make this awesome 10/10 that's really, really cool and interesting. So how we're going to be building this today is basically we're going to have Caradora go and find it, and then we're going to have a bunch of other cool effects. Because the Mechtitan Core, if it leaves, it is exiled, which isn't great. We will have some ways of getting it back from exile so we can do it again and again. That's kind of important. But there's going to be a bit of a flicker sub-theme, just because Caradora is an ETB. If we can flicker this, we can get more vehicles and stuff from our deck. This +1 counter stuff will come in a little bit. We might look to see where to kind of integrate that where we can, seeing if there's ways that we can buff up the Mechtitan Core when it's in play, make it even more of a lethal threat. Because ideally, like this is literally Voltron. We are literally trying to make one big thing super deadly and kill people with it. And Mechtitan Core is cool for that, because it is a 10/10 flying, vigilance, trample, lifelink, haste. That will kill some people. Will it kill the whole table? We'll have to work on that. But this will let us do the thing. This deck will let us make the Mechtitan Core, and at the end of the day, that is what this is for. This isn't about killing 3 opponents. This is about having an awesome time with a commander deck. So this is definitely going to be a bit more of a goofy one today, but I'm kind of here for it. we've got our categories roughly on screen here. I'll bring this up big so you can all see it. So these are our categories. Again, when I'm building the deck, I'll just be adding them in. If you've seen one of these before, I'll just be going through. This is kind of like a rough template, rough skeleton that we'll be working with today. I'll be filling them in as best as possible. We should have plenty of time. We have about 50 minutes before we need to start the day job. What we'll be doing afterwards is then, like during my lunch break, I'll then go through and tag all these. So currently we have Mechtitan Core and untagged artifacts. This will kind of go into like I'll tag all these a bit later today, so if anyone's watching the VOD, or if you want to check the link that's in the description to the deck tech, it'll be around, and you can go here, and basically, these tags work as a kind of guide. So basically, I will put in some cards that I think are cool, have cool ETBs. I'll put in some cards that I think are cool flicker cards. I'll put in some ramp that I have, and some draw that I have. Basically, you can swap those with cards that you either like more, or cards you own, if you were building this yourself. Just a nice little way of everyone being able to build a deck, no one being priced out or anything like that. Alright. So we have... Oh, okay, we're getting a little bit heavy. Oh, thank you, darling. Alright, she's going to go have her breakfast, and I'm sure she'll be back in a little bit. Don't worry, everyone. The cat always returns. Alright. The first thing with the Mechtitan Core is that in order to... So our game plan, we already kind of have a little bit ready. We have Caradora in the command zone. We use that to go and get the Mechtitan Core. The thing we need with the Mechtitan Core is we need to exile 4 other artifact creatures and or vehicles. That means we need to put these in the deck. So this is what we're going to search for now. We're going to search for artifact creatures and then vehicles, because they don't come up on the same search, with cool enter the battlefield effects. That is the plan. Right, so we're in Scryfall. We're going to go white and green. And these kind of secret commander decks really come to their own when you are searching for stuff in Scryfall. It's not likely we're going to be able to go to EDH Rec and find a deck that has Caradora as the commander and Mechtitan Core as the secret win con. This is going to take all of our Scryfalling skill for today. So, let's search for artifact. We want creature. And we want enters, or enter. Let's do enter. I don't know if everything's been errated to be enter the bat or enters yet. Alright, so we have 190 cards to choose from. We are going to be do the sneaky thing of just search by EDH rank. We will need to keep an eye on the curve while we're doing this, because here we have all the best ETB effects on creatures. Because why we're doing this is because worst case scenario, or basically these give us value when they enter. That is the point of an ETB effect. The flicker we're going to use with Caradora to kind of buff up, or to just find, so basically we can just get more and more vehicles out of our deck. So worst case scenario, so once we've made the Mechtitan Core, worst case scenario, if it ever gets removed, the other creatures and vehicles that crewed it, or kind of like fused to become the Megazord from God, my brain is the Power Rangers. I'm sure there are other places that have this type of thing, but when they fuse to become the big Megazord in Power Rangers, if the Mechtitan Core ever gets removed, that will suck. But all the stuff will come back in, and if they all have ETBs again, then they're all going to trigger again. That's kind of vibey. So we're getting value no matter what happens, basically. So let's look. So Solemn Simulacrum is a decent one. That is an ETB. That probably goes in ramp, actually, so we can move that over. Because the draw card is a dies trigger. We're exiling it under the Mechtitan Core. We're not, so it will only get the ETB. So that's... Actually, let's just put Solemn in. Solemn is a very solid card in most decks, and in this I think it's going to be just as good. Meteor Golem, great bit of interaction. Also very good. If these cross over with other sections of the deck, like the other things up here, then that's not the end of the world. In fact, it's better. It means things are more synergistic. So we have some interaction, we have some card draw. Battle Ball's kind of vibey. I'm here for Battle Ball, but it is quite expensive. Let's put it in for now. If it comes out later because the curve's a bit wild, we will do that. Ah, here we go. Circuit Mender is a great one. When it enters, we gain 2 life, and when it leaves the battlefield, draw a card. That means that when we crew the Mechtitan Core with it, or when we fuse it in with it, we're going to draw a card. Nice little bit of synergy. I don't think we can count this as card draw, but we can... I don't know, we can count that as card draw. That's fine, it's fine. Alright, what else do we have? Duplicant, another great ETB. This is another... It can double up as interaction. Again, if we get overlaps, then this is good. If this cool ETB section that's currently only 14 ends up being higher, because we have a bunch of cool effects, then we love that for us. There's a lot of expensive ones, that's kind of an issue. Non-token, no. When it enters exile target player's graveyard, I don't hate that, but I think we... Pilgrim's Eye is more kind of the level... Oh, is this 2 deck techs in a row where we're adding Pilgrim's Eye to it? Oh, let's go. Alright, what else do we have? I think this might be a deck where we add Sky Scanner, if I'm honest with you. Sky Scanner is the perfect kind of dorky card that I'm fine throwing under a Mechtitan Core. What else do we have? Battlefield an opponent. Sandstone Oracle is fine, but again, I'm doing it this way. We do need to worry about the curve, and we already have this wedge down here. We want 1, 2, 2, 3, and 2 and 3s preferably. All right. Tuffy enters make a food token. I don't think that's great. Catalysm Gearhulk could be funny, but that kind of stops us making our Mechtitan. Oh, does it? Enter the battlefield. Each player chooses an artifact, a creature, or enchantment from... Oh, no, choose an artifact. Yeah, that just wipes the whole board. That's not helpful. Filigree Familiar, maybe. Let's see what else we got. We do want cheap stuff, but want it to be good and synergistic, not just Iron Apprentice. There is a world where we are running Iron Apprentice. Verdurous Gearhulk, this is everything in this deck. When Verdurous Gearhulk enters the battlefield, distribute 4+1 counters among any number of target creatures you control. This is phenomenal. This works perfectly with Caradora. Because we can put 1 counter on each creature we control, and then Caradora will double that up. It only ever adds 1 extra. That's why I'm kind of not leaning too much into this, although maybe we could. Maybe we should just be leaning it. Maybe just throwing in everything that lets us put a counter on something in these colours. So maybe there is a world where we should be running Iron Apprentice, but that doesn't feel great. I don't like sleeping up. Iron Apprentice and Commander isn't necessarily where we want to be, but it could be. Let's have a look. Let's keep going down. We have a few more to get to. Ooh, Simium Simulacrum. Ape Smash. This one's fine. I like this. When it enters, put 2+1 counters on the target creature you control. So, why I kind of like this, and also the Verdurous Gearhulk that we previously mentioned, is that if they come down after we have the Mechtitan in play, after we've made our Megazord, this will make it bigger. The Unearth is also quite nice because we can get it back. Yeah, worst case with this one, if this dies earlier in the game, we can unearth it and then fuse it with the Mechtitan. That's still pretty good. We get double value even if it dies. So let's add Simian Simulacrum. I really like this card. I still run this. I run this in my cube actually. I think it's pretty good. It just kills people. All right, let's keep going down. What do you do? Prowl Stoic Strategist. Alright. Whenever another creature or vehicle enters under your control, put a counter on Prowl. If it's the second time this ability has resolved this turn, convert it. When it attacks, exile up to one other target tapped vehicle, a creature or vehicle, for as long as that card remains exiled, its owner may play it. Whenever a player plays a card from exile... no. It's probably fine, but it seems a lot of faffing around. And we're already faffing around enough in this deck. No bonus faffing, I'm afraid. Ooh, Split Skin Doll enters, draw a card, then discard a card unless you control another creature with power 2 or less. Don't hate that. It is a bit of filtering. Rummaging in white's weird. Very weird, but it's a cheap effect, so we're kind of here for it. Sentry bot, no. Meow, darling. Ooh, power stones do kind of work in this. And better for when Thran Spider enters, you and target opponent each create a tapped power stone token. Then the activated ability of look at the 7, look at the top 4 cards of your library and reveal an artifact card from among them, put them into your hand. I don't hate that. I think that's pretty good. This is effectively card draw. We are crossing over with some of our other sections a little bit. Let's see what else we have. Battlefield, draw a card for 3 mana. Oh, there is some cool stuff we can do with Prototype, actually. That's kind of funny. Actually, I kind of like that. So, with Prototype, we can cast them for the Prototype cost. They'll come in smaller. Then if we fuse them with the Mechtitan Core, they'll go away, obviously, and then we'll make the core. But if they ever leave, they'll come in as the bigger version. That's kind of funny. I actually really like that. That could be quite a cool little way of taking this. Because I do like the idea of actually being able to weaponize the Mechtitan Core leaving. But the issue with that is that the Mechtitan Core does exile itself. And then when this token leaves the bed, return all cards with it except this card. So you don't bring this back, unfortunately, when it comes back. But I do like the idea of putting these in. That's kind of vibey, actually. Putting these in so you prototype them in. Then when it gets flickered, or if this dies or something like that, then these come back as the bigger versions. We are also planning on running some flicker cards, and these work great with flicker as well. So you play them for the cheaper version. When they get flickered, they come back in as the bigger version. That's kind of awesome, actually. Ooh, this is the kind of nonsense that I'm here for. We've kind of just discovered through going through Scryfall some cool things we can do with this deck. I actually quite like that. Mary, do you like that too? Meow? Meow, I know, right? Good. The cat's name's Miri, by the way, in case anyone hasn't clocked that before. I'm here for this. I think this is great. Alright, we're going deep with this. We're going to add Autonomous Rumbler. I mean, this works well. Put a count on target assembly worker. This is fine. This is fine. Everything's fine. Actually, no, let's be good. Let's leave this open for a second. Let's come back to this in a minute. If there's anything relevant we can do. We do need to do the deck, at least working to a place where we're happy with it. I think that's going to be it for creatures. Like Throne Guardian, it's kind of vibey. You become the Monarch, but it's 5 mana. This is the one issue with this. Ooh. Bright Glass Gearhulk. Can we search your library for 2 artifact creature enchantments with mana value? I'm going to put this in because of something that... I'm going to save this for later, because there's a little win con I've got in mind for this. Mechtitan Core does have Trample, doesn't it? Trample. Good. Marvellous. Cool. We'll come back to that in a minute. Alright. I think that's probably going to do it for creatures. So let's search for... vehicle. Alright, similar thing, EDH rank. So, the next thing we can do, vehicles can also crew and make the Mechtitan. Or, cannot crew, can go underneath it, that kind of stuff. So let's get some of these in here. So, I think Sky Sovereign Flagship can be some removal. These numbers might be a little bit all over the place. But I'm here for that. Isika's Chariot is a great one. Comes in, makes 2 tokens, and then when it attacks, we can make a token that's a copy of target token we control. So, unfortunately, the Mechtitan is legendary. But there is a couple of ways. Let's just... There's going to be a more chaotic one. I'm still not entirely woken up yet, and I went to a gig last night and got back a bit late. So, we are still working on some stuff. Legend Rule. Let's see if this... we need this in these colours. What cards stop the Legend Rule? There's definitely... So there is a world where we run Mirror Box and Mirror Gallery as ways of... I think that's pretty cool, actually. I think we're going to run Mirror Box and Mirror Gallery, because if we draw one of them, we can tutor up a Seeker's Chariot with Caradora to... That's pretty good. To then effectively make multiple Mech-Titans. That's kind of great. I'm here for that. Yeah, if there's a way we can do... So I think we might save the Mirror Box package for the win cons, because that does feel like a win con. But a Seeker's Chariot is 100%... Oh, it's already in. But let's go back. That seems like something funny we can do. Reckon a Bankbuster, another great bit of card draw. Again, this deck takes a little bit all over the place. We will go through in a moment and just double check what we have and make some numbers. I will find a... Is there a pen around here? Pen on my desk? There's a permanent marker. Perfect, that'll do. So we might just do some numbers in a minute, just kind of catch up with where we are. Right. Damn you, Prowl! Why are you back again? Unidentified hover ship, some nice removal. So again, so just the fact that all of this stuff that we want in the deck is on creatures and vehicles with ETBs. Like, the vehicles especially are ones that we can tutor up with Caradora. So I like having at least one bit of removal. We have some card draw. We have a little win con here. We have some more removal. This is cool because it basically turns Caradora into like a toolbox. That's pretty fun. We can get some more ramp. I know there's definitely one that makes you... what do you call it? It can definitely ramp you. Here, this one, Lumbering World Wagon. This one's great. 2 and a green, comes in. Whenever it enters or attacks, you may search your library for a basic land, put onto the battlefield tapped. It ramps us. We can go get it with this. What else do we want? Enter, choose a creature type. Vehicles you control are the chosen type and types. No. Thunderous Velocipede. Does it? Velocipede. Does that work in this deck? Each other vehicle and creature you control enters an additional +1 counter on it if its mana value is 4 or less. Otherwise, it enters with 3 additional counters. Yes, that works quite well with our commander. Because with our commander, it'll put 2 counters on everything cheap or 4 counters on everything big. That seems pretty good. This isn't one we want to exile with under the Mechtitan, but I think that's still pretty solid. Comes in and scries. That's probably fine. It's not card draw, but it probably works out to be like 1 card of card advantage, which is fine. If we can flicker it, then it's better. You're too expensive. Just to see if there's any... actually, this is just a manolith, isn't it? Veloheart Bike. Enters, gain 2 life, tap, add 1 mana of any colour. That probably gets in. There's the Chariot from, I'm assuming, original Kaladesh block that's going to be in here. That's a tap ability, isn't it? That's why it's not appearing on this search. Oh, Surge Hacker Mech probably gets in as well. When this vehicle enters, it deals damage equal to twice the number of vehicles you control to target creature or planeswalker an opponent controls. That probably gets in, because we do have a lot of vehicles in this deck. That's the thing. A lot of the decks we're building recently have been kind of vehicle-focused, but we have just had the vehicle set. So, hey-ho, we are working with what we've got. When we get Final Fantasy, we'll do some Final Fantasy-themed decks. Right. So we have added 19 cards to the deck. Let's just quickly go through and do some numbers. So, draw. We are making notes. Draw. Ramp. Interaction. Just want to make sure that we have in how many we have of these as our baseline. So let's just go through. Let's do card draw first. So, oh, that permanent marker is not smelling great this time in the morning. So, reckon a Bankbuster is 1 bit of draw. I'm not going to count that. It's not good enough to necessarily count as a whole bit of card draw. Again, it's not a whole bit. It's a bit of. It doesn't say draw card directly. So, but we'll add Sky Scanner is a bit of draw. So we have 2 split skin doll. I will call that a bit of draw. Alright, now let's go through ramp. Lumbering World Wagon is definitely a bit of ramp. That's 1. Volhart, this thing is 2. Pilgrim's Eye is not ramp necessarily because it goes to our hand. It's a bit of... It's nice to have in the deck, but I'm not including it in our ramp. I don't want to cut it short. Solemn Simulacrum is 100% a bit of ramp. That's 3. Probably 3 then. This one... The Power Stone, maybe. We'll count that as 4, but I do think we're going to need a bit more, quite a bit more ramp in this. All right. Then interaction, we should have a bunch here already. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, 5 bits of interaction already in the deck. That's pretty phenomenal, actually. So I've just made a note of those, so when we go through the rest of our sections, we know that we have enough cards, basically. We're not scrimping on... The base level is this will be a functional Commander deck. Again, the power level of what we're doing here is open to debate. Currently, we don't bracket info. It's being treated as a bracket 2 right now. Love that, but I'm sure... Oh, because the Commander is a tutor. Oh, that's interesting. Because the Commander is a tutor, Moxfield is treating it as a bracket 2. Interesting. Okay. Interesting to know. I'm not saying that's good or bad, but it is just a thing. Alright. Where are we? So, we've got some cool ETBs. Let's add some flicker cards. So, how are we going to search for this? Let's just be a bit lazy. Let's just... EDH rec. Sets. There's probably a way you can search for this in Scryfall, like exile and return, but let's just... Is it not flicker? Is flicker not an archetype? What do we call bounce? Is it? No, it's not going to be bounce. What's it called? Am I... Flicker is a deck, yeah? This... Blink. Okay, they're called Blink. It's called Blink. Okay. Marvellous. Love that. Alright. Rearguard's going to be a touch lazy here. I'm just going to select it. And we're just going to get our Blink cards from here just because... I can't... They all have slightly different wording, so let's just get them. So, ideally we want... what's the word? We want repeatable bits. So, Teleportation Circle gets in, it's repeatable. Ephemerate, it gives us 2 bits. It is sort of repeatable in itself. 2 bits in 1 card I'm here for. Alright. The other one times, like Cloud Shift and Eerie Interlude, maybe not. Top cards. If we see any good artifact creatures in here, we might throw them in as well. I don't know. Let's have a quick look. Alright, none of these are repeatable, so let's... Eldrazi Displacer is repeatable, but you need that colour source, so probably not. Just a bit of, again, no extra faffing in this deck. That's not what we are here for. Let's just go to utility artifacts. There'll be some flink in there. Alright, Conjurer's Closet. Repeatable, does it every turn. Get in my deck. Great Henge is probably quite good in this deck, but let's come back to that later. Sword of Hearth and Home? Sort of. We don't want to be flickering the Mechtitan. There is a world where we do, but we don't necessarily want to be doing it all the time. Ooh, Touch the Spirit Realm I do quite like, because it can also be... it's a removal spell. It's a Oblivion Ring, but if you channel it, it can be a flicker. That seems pretty solid, actually. Where are we? His Far Traveler, commander, creatures you control, you own, have, at the beginning of your end step, exile up to one target tapped creature you control, then return to the battlefield under its owner's control. So because we have all these vehicles in the deck, that's probably going to be pretty good. Because we have all these vehicles that will let us tap things, we can tap something that we want. We can... You could probably then, if you wanted to flicker a vehicle, you could crew it with one creature, then crew another vehicle with that vehicle, because you can crew vehicles with vehicles, which is kind of... That reminds me of early Kaladesh, where you had cars crewing trains and that kind of stuff, or helicopters crewing cars, crewing trains. I think we'll add Far Traveler as our third bit of... Or fourth bit of flicker. We're running a bit short on these, actually. There doesn't seem to be as many in these colours. We might need to run a couple more of the... What, we have 4? This means we do need to run... So let's run Eerie Interlude. It can at least do our whole board. It is a one-time effect, but it will do every creature you control, and also, because it's returned those cards to the battlefield under their control, at the beginning of the next end step, it will let us dodge removal. So if there's a board wipe, you can Eerie Interlude, poof your whole board away, and then it'll come back end of turn unwiped, which we like. Then... Let's just do Resto Angel. Good card is good card. So we have 6 there. That is a little... That's a touch low, but I think it's fine. That's fine. We have some higher cool ETBs. All right. Now let's get some ramp and some... Let's do the bread and butter in the deck. Let's do the ramp and the card draw. Let's... So we have 3 bit... we have 4 bits of ramp already in the deck from our little numbers. Let's just search for a land. I think we want a couple of these just because these don't die to board wipes. So... EDH rank. Ooh, Aerial Surveyor's a bit... I think we're going to add Aerial Surveyor. This is the 3rd deck in a row we've added this to. But it's got better as it is a vehicle recently. Because we're doing the vehicle set. This is a card I'm expecting to add into a bunch of decks this month and then never again. Alright, let's do EDH rank and get this in. Alright, so we want Farseek, I think. So this is number 6. I just want some cheap bits in as well, because everything else has been pretty expensive so far. So this is 7. We might actually go up on ramp a little bit, actually, just because the curve is looking a little high. That was 7. It's not terrible, but it's not. That's a wedge of 3s. I would like something to do at 2 mana. Wayfarer's Bauble probably gets in. Yeah, we'll add a Wayfarer's Bauble. Actually, let's add the obvious Soul Ring. And Arcane Signet. I think there's around 8. So we had 4 initially, then 5, 6, 7... 8, 9. Oh, we're actually on 9, I think, actually. I think we're going to go a touch higher on this. There is also, as we have a touch of flicker stuff, let's do Search for Land. Let's add Oracle Enters. Alright, so Farhaven Elf gets in. Search Library for basic land, put on the battlefield tapped. And then let's also do Wood Elves. When this enters, search your library for a forest card, put it onto the battlefield tapped. Cool. So again, worst case, we can flicker this. That's not too bad. Again, the curve is a little high, I'll be honest with you. But it is what it is right now. This is a goofy deck, not a consistent deck. Right, we have a ramp. Let's do some card draw. I think we need some card draw in this deck. Alright. Let's type draw a card. Let's just do draw card. Alright. In these colors, let's search by EDH rank again. We do need to focus on cheap stuff here. Alright, I'm adding Esper Sentinel. Yes, it is expensive, but we need something in the one drop. If you don't have one, you can replace this with something else. Hooah, get in the deck. So, I'm actually going to mark these down as we go. So that was 4. I'm kind of here for Return of the Wild Speaker, because with our Mechtitan out, it'll draw us 10 cards. That's good, we like that. Or it can give our whole board +3/+3, that's also pretty good. Also, just this 5 mana to draw 4 cards with our actual commander is also fine. Return of the Wild Speaker, get in. It's just a very versatile card. There aren't many green decks where I'm not happy running Return of the Wild Speaker. It does kind of have staple energy, if you know what I mean. This is my deck. I'm going to add a Sylvan Library. This is one I'm actually tempted to build at some point, and I know I've just chucked in, with 2 cards, I just added 50 quid to the budget, but they are both cards I own, and I'm kind of... I want this deck to, like... This deck is struggling enough because it is built around this thing going into this thing. We're allowed to treat ourselves to some reliable bits of card draw interaction. So this Inspiring Call probably gets in this deck. We do have some +1/+1 counter synergy in here. It's a minor sub-theme in the deck, so I think that means Inspiring Call can get in as well. Also, it means if we get a counter on our either of our commanders, it'll give them indestructible, so it's protection as well. We love that. I don't know how good Tribute of the World Tree is going to be in this build of this deck, just because a lot of the stuff, well, vehicles aren't creatures when they enter, so that isn't great. Orhan Frostfang. I don't hate that. It is 5 mana though, so maybe not. What do you? Ooh, I've seen this one before. Whenever one or more creatures you control with power greater than its base power. No, we're not actually full. We are not full counters. There's a world where maybe we should be, but hey ho. Archivist, generically good bit. There must be some more bits that we can look at. Spirited Companion. If this was an artifact, it would get in. Alright, Hunter's Insight. I think here we go. This is what we're doing. Hunter's Insight. Whenever, choose target which you control. Whenever it deals combat damage to a player or planeswalker this turn, draw that many cards. So we have now 2 ways of drawing 10 cards. We don't need lots of little bits of card draw. We just have 2 big bits of card draw. Love that. We're going Mangara. That does feel a little bit not lazy, but yeah, we're going to add Mangara. I would like to have more synergistic bits in here. But it's synergistic in that it crews the Mechtitan. Alright, where else are we? Again, so Trouble in Pairs could get in, but we're not... Good generic card, but I don't particularly want to just go full generic. Let's just run all the good bits. Wall of Omens, maybe. It does... Draw a card and can be flickered. Oh, Jesus. This permanent marker is dreadful. Dreadful smell. Not this time of the morning, anyway. Right. Where are we? Just for the sake of getting some stuff in, I think let's... Smuggler's Copter. There you are. Thank God. Alright. So this, I believe, is 7... let's just get Elvis Visionary in here. It comes in, it draws us a card, it can crew a vehicle. This is 8. Two more. I don't think we want to be full momentous full type stuff, although it is kind of good. And it's good for drawing us one big amount of stuff, but it does exile the Mechtitan Core, and I do kind of want to get on with some stuff. All right, we're going for another draw 10. Soul's Majesty, this is 9. Let's get one more in, and then we're at least in a decent place with this part. Screw it. Wedding Ring, get in the deck. Actually, no. Let's add Sylvala. We could add a Wedding Ring. Let's add Sylvala. Parlay, reel the top card. For each non-land card, reel this way. I like Sylvala. It's a cool card. Doesn't synergize with the deck at all. I don't know, but again, 2. We're going to claim that every creature with 2 power synergizes because it can crew the Mechtitan Core. Okay? Don't at me. That's loose, but it'll go in for now. We might make some changes to this later. This might be one I come back and look at in the future. All right. Interaction, we have 5 bits. Let's just do Swords to Plowshares, Path to Exile, 7 Beast within... let's do Wrath of God. And then, what was the one we added yesterday? The destroy. It was it's a white spell. We're looking for the one that destroys non-artifact creatures. Organic Extinction. Here you go. This one, a bit big, or a bit expensive, but it doesn't hit a bunch of our deck, which we love. Okay, marvelous. So we've done our cool ETBs, our flicker effects, our ramp, our card draw interaction. We need some protection, and then we need to get the Voltron win con in. We have about 12 or so minutes. We can do this. All right, protection. So, let's. We're going to probably add Teferi's protection just because I'm. Until end of turn, your life total can't change. You're getting protection from everything. We're going to add it, even though it does feel a little bit generic. Teferi's protection, get in. Again, there's plenty of other stuff that you can do with this. Let's actually just. Creature. Is it indestructible? Oh, I can never spell it. I'm really bad at spelling indestructible. There we go. We love our creatures having indestructible. We need them to gain indestructible, please, and thank you. EDH rank. Ooh, a Chroma's Will. That's kind of vibey. Choose one. If you control a commander as you cast the spell, you may choose both. Creatures you control gain Flying, Vigilance, and Double Strike. Or creatures you control gain Lifelink, Indestructible, and Protection from each color. That will end some games. Doubling up as a win con we like as well. Type R stands kind of vibey. Again, Flawless Maneuver could just go in any kind of deck like this. Ooh, does Smuggler's Surprise protect? Okay. I've just been really impressed with Smuggler's Surprise. It's just so unbelievably versatile. Creatures with power 4 or greater gain Hexproof and Indestructible end of turn for 2 mana. So it protects our commander. No, it protects our commander, and it protects the Mechtitan when it's out. Or you can just pay 6 mana, so a green and this, to put 2 creature cards from your hand onto the battlefield. That comes up more than you think, especially in commander. Just 6 mana to put 2 things from your hand into play. It's pretty good, even if it's, say, like... What would be good in here? So say, I don't know, like a mere Battlesphere and a Sky Scanner. That's really good. Even a Wood Elves and a Verdurous Gearhulk. For 6 mana, that's pretty good. I've been really impressed with this card. I think people need to run it more in Commander. Oh, is it? This is going to be tricky. I need to... What is the name of the card that lets you bring something back from exile? From exile. It's a green elf. What is it called? Is it not an elf? It's face up in exile. There is a card that lets you Rift Sweeper. This is it. This is some protection, because this is going to let us get the Mechtitan Core back if it ever goes. So when we make the Mechtitan Core is going to be exiled from our deck. That means it goes into the exile pile. So in theory, then there isn't a way of getting it back. What we can do is we can play Rift Sweeper. When this creature enters, choose target face-up card exiled, it only shuffles it into their library. So if the Mechtitan Core is exiled, because we've made the Mechtitan, we can cast this. This will then shuffle the Mechtitan Core back into our deck. We then either flick it or replay Caradora, and we can go tutor it again. That's good. We like that. Awesome. Alright, so that gets in. I think we're going to be there for protection now. The next part I had down is Voltron win condition, and that's where Bright Glass Gearhulk's going to come into play. So this Bright Glass Gearhulk comes in, enters, you may search your library for up to 2 artifact creature and or enchantment cards with mana value 1 or less, put them into your hand. So what we're going to be tutoring is Colossal Hammer. Yes, the thing will lose flying, but it still has trample. We double check that. Colossal Hammer. And Sigarda's Aid. We can tutor for both of these with the Bright Glass Gearhulk. Where's it gone? With the Bright Glass Gearhulk. Put them into our hand, then we can play Sigarda's Aid, and then Colossal Hammer, and then we can equip for free the Colossal Hammer to anything that we want. That's pretty funny. That is a cool win con. There's another hammer I want to add. Hammer of Nazan. Because it comes in, gives the creature plus 2% in Indestructible, and also auto-equip stuff. So again, if we were to do this, if we were to find Colossal Hammer later, it would do it. We are going to run actual Nazan as well. Again, you may tap... it tutors it up. It's a nice little cool thing we can do with it. We love that. So we have 60. Right, I want about 4 more cards for this deck. I think, if I'm honest with you, let's add the Mirror Box, Mirror Gallery shenanigans, so we can do this as well. This will let us clone the Mechtitan Core, which is fun. So these two let us clone the Mechtitan Core, and because we have a Seeker's Chariot in the deck, which is a vehicle that we can tutor with our commander multiple times with any flicker stuff, we don't necessarily need more ways of cloning it. That's pretty funny. I do like that. So the legend rule not applying means that we can double up any token that's legendary, which is pretty fun. I think we are going to run at least one more tutor just in the deck. Search artifact. Just because I do want... We have so many cool lines in this deck that requires getting certain bits. It might just be... Actually, we'll throw in a Enlightened Tutor, and we are going to throw in Inventor's Fair. Artifact with a mana ability. It doesn't have a mana ability. Yeah, I think we're going to do Enlightened Tutor just because it's nice and efficient. Again, a cheaper version of this is actually called Dotha Forgemaster. Sacrifice 3 artifacts, search your library for an artifact card and put it onto the battlefield. That would be a nice, more budget include. I'm assuming this is cheap. How are you $7? Alright, my bad. Yeah, I think that's cool. Let's add in Enlightened Tutor. We'll put it under Card Draw, it'll be fine. And Inventor's Fair is a land, so it's just free. Inventor's Fair can get in as a land. So we still have... make 2 or 3 more slots. This is where I'm just going to be cheeky and just add in... Where'd they go? Where'd they go? The prototype stuff. Let's add in the best prototype stuff because this is a nice little cool thing we can do. So put a counter on this. Gain life equals to its power. Draw a card. I love drawing cards. Combat Thresher. Get in. And see, this is perfect. Why did this not come up earlier? This is exactly what we want. Why are we running... Where are you? Where's our rubbish? Why are we running Elvish Visionary when we have Combat Thresher? That's kind of dumb. Alright. Cradle Clear Cutter. This is vibey. We love this. Again, these are coming in because we can cast them for their prototype cost and then flicker them to bring them in as the big boys, which we love. When it attacks, target attacking creature. That's kind of interesting. Create an XX. So it makes a 15/15. I'm not super fussed by that. Steel Seraph is a great card. It's flying, but our Fate Commander already has all these abilities. What do you do? When it enters, if you cast it, well, immediately, yeah, the cast thing on this does make me not run it. Okay, I think I'm happy with this, actually. We have 65 non-land permanents, or non-land effects in the deck, and we've covered all our bases. I think that's pretty good. What I will do is, let's just have a quick look at utility lands, if there's anything that stands out. We are probably just going to run Gavany Township. It's just a free way of putting counters on all of our stuff. Our real commander does care about that kind of stuff. That's solid. We're probably a rogue passage deck just because, in case they somehow have a flying blocker, we do want to be able to kill their stuff. War Room is bonus card draw. We love that. We're not really proliferating. Is that it for utility lands? That's it for the most obvious ones. I think that's where we're going to call it. Alright, let's have a look at this. I'm aware that this might... Oh, it's changed card image. This is... Mechtitan Core. Token. There we go. That's what we're really doing with this. Yes! That's beautiful. Alright, I think that's where we're going to end it. Let's actually have a look at the curve of this. Okay, thank God. That is nowhere near as bad as I was... We have got this wonderful curve. I'm going to be honest with you, not through skill, through a little bit of luck. It's a lot of 3s. I would like some of this to be 2s, but seeing as we're doing nonsense with this, I think this is looking alright. Commander... it'll give us the bracket later, but it's roughly looking towards a 3? Oh, because Enlightened Tutor is a game changer, and we have 5 tutors in the deck. I think this is kind of one of the, not downfalls of the brackets, but it's definitely kind of like, it's a good place for a conversation. I think you say, I think this is going to be fine in a 1 or a 2 group, but it does have, like, effectively, it's because I put cards like Sylvan Library and Enlightened Tutor in, kind of like, these are just like generically good cards. I did that because we're kind of already hamstringing ourselves because we're doing this stuff, we're doing Mechtitan Core stuff. So that's part of the conversation I think you can have when you play this deck. Like, you could say, by the letter of the law, it could be tier 3, or you could just remove Enlightened Tutor and put in a different artifact tutor. That's fine. That would work as well. But I think this looks kind of vibey. This might be one I tinker in the future, just because there's so much cool stuff here. So we can... This searches for Mechtitan Core. This also searches for a Seeker's Chariot. And then the artifact tutors go and get mirror box and stuff, so we can just make a bunch of copies of Mechtitan Core. That's kind of why I originally built the deck as... What do you call it? God, what's the... As Broodaclad. Because I wanted ways of copying the Mechtitan Core as much as possible. But this kind of does that, which is really cool. This lets us... Caradora... This is the cool way of building it, I think. I think you aren't just kind of just leading into the vehicle mount stuff. There is probably some more mount vehicle stuff. Like, there's definitely like a a dinosaur that ramps for mounts and vehicles that I probably should find and put in here, maybe cut. Things like Elvish and Visionary are a little bit anemic. They don't really synergize that well with the deck. It's kind of a bit shoehorned, but it will do the job. I think this is cool. I'm kind of here for it. Right, I think that's where we're going to end it for today. It is 9 AM, time to start the day job. Thank you all very much for watching. Let me know any changes that you would make to this. This is definitely more of a brew than some of the other ones we've done. But this is one I'm actually kind of... I can see myself building this because I think this is fun. And I've been looking for something to do with the Mechtitan Core for a hot minute now, and I think this could be it. That's where we're going to leave it for today. Also let me know if there's any other decks that, from Aether Drift or anything like that you'd like me to take a look at. Maybe we'll do that in the future. But until tomorrow, we'll see you all soon. Goodbye.